Hello, everybody. Thank you for your patience and being on this webinar. My name is Ivailo, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Today's webinar is about adding semantic edge to your content from authoring to delivery. It will be the first webinar hosted by both Infosys and OntoText. And this webinar will discuss the relevance of semantic technology for content publishers and e-learning providers. We'll address some of the basic industry pain points and how semantic can come to the rescue. We'll also talk about adding value with semantic technology to the various phases of the digital product development lifecycle. Now I'm going to introduce you the speakers today. The first one is Atanas Kyriakov, leading expert in semantic databases, author of multiple signature industry publications, including chapters in the widely acclaimed Handbook of Semantic Web Technologies. Some of his more acclaimed achievements, including making sure his kids don't break their heads on a tricycle, and that the GraphDB team actually makes the well-anticipated visualization balls. The next presenter is Shyam Shetty, who is an Executive VP of E-Learning and Technology Services, responsible for managing and strategizing the entire division at Infosys, which is the core of all the product developments in the company. With his over 20 years in the industry, he's a veteran at managing high-performance technology teams. Some of his greatest achievements include patents for several technologies still used today. The last presenter today is going to be PhD Dr. Georgiev, who is a leading expert in semantic technologies, big data, text analytics, and technical architecture, author of more than 60 research and industry publications. He is a regular speaker at conferences, trade shows, radio, and TV. He's the proud owner of a 60kg dog, so he's always very social in the park when breeding season comes. Today's presentation is going to be approximately 1 hour, and you can ask any questions that you might have during the presentation in the QA panel, which is available at WebEx. Please enjoy the presentation and ask your questions, which will be answered at the end of this presentation. Now I'm giving the word to our CEO, Atanas Kyriakov.
Hello, everyone. I'm proud to introduce to you the partnership that we announced a couple of days ago. Infosys and OntoText joined forces to provide smart content solutions to publishers, to media, and essentially to all organizations that are dealing with content creation and content delivery. Our joint offerings target more efficient authoring and editorial workflows, including services like knowledge processing and semantic curation. We also offer a combination of content enrichment and content retrieval technology that allows for better content delivery and better content repurposing. At the end of the day, all this allows for smart content retrieval, better recommendation, better content exploration experiences. Both OntoText and Infosys have experience and great track record in delivering these kinds of technologies and these kinds of solutions through the years. But there are important differences and complementarity. So while OntoText is more focused on delivering engines and platforms for automatic content enrichment and intelligent retrieval and recommendation, Infosys offers complete solutions that automate a broad range of business processes and functions in publishing organizations. Now, I'll take the chance to briefly introduce OntoText. I established OntoText 16 years ago as R&D lab of Sirma, that's the biggest Bulgarian software house. Sirma actually made a successful IPO on the stock exchange a couple of months ago. OntoText itself basically deals around two types of technology: semantic database engines and text analytics. We offer the semantic database engine. We offer also content management solutions that do use and have integrated this graph database engine for the sake of better text analytics, text interlinking, and at the end of the day, as I said, content retrieval and content recommendation that takes into account the meaning of this content. Some brief facts before we proceed. Sirma Group, our mother company, has about 350 employees. OntoText itself is headquartered in Sofia, but our major markets are United Kingdom and United States, probably accounting for something like 70 or 80% of our revenues. We have local presence on the East Coast, in New York City, and of course in London. And recently we started approaching more seriously the German-speaking market with representatives out of Germany, and to be more concrete, Frankfurt. So let me say a few words about our approach of dealing with content and with data and how we add value. So in a typical project that we do, we always start with the integration of both proprietary databases and linked open data. So typically we are faced with publishers and with media with a range of pre-existing taxonomies, vocabularies, databases of different sorts that need to be integrated and taken into account when we build a metadata enrichment solution and metadata-based content management. But we complement this with linked open data that are coming from the so-called semantic web or web of data, Web 3.0. That nowadays contains literally thousands of data sets, all the way from generic encyclopedic information with great coverage and freshness, like DBpedia, Wikipedia, geographic, geospatial information from data sets like geonames, dictionaries like WordNet, and so on and so forth. So our approach is to integrate proprietary databases and taxonomies with this open data to come up with a big knowledge graph that contains typically billions of facts. And this is precisely what this semantic database engine that we develop and that we are leading vendor of do well. And then on top of this, we use this big knowledge graph as context and as extra knowledge to allow us to do better text analytics and to interlink text with this knowledge graph so that we can deliver, at the end of the day, better content analytics, better retrieval, semantic retrieval, be able to retrieve stuff based on meaning, and also to make better content recommendations, and if you want, to serve more relevant advertisements. With this, I think that's enough. I'm certain that Georgi later on will give you even more insightful details about our technology, and I want to pass the floor to my colleague from Infosys.
Thank you, Atnas. That was a great introduction to our partnership, and also about OntoText and its capabilities. It gives me great pleasure to present you this webinar, the first of its series. And just to talk a few words about Impelsys itself. Impelsys is a 15-year old company, and we have been in the business of digital publishing and e-learning areas. And we have a global presence, both in terms of our own offices as well as the customers distributed across the world. We can very humbly say that we are probably the leaders in digital publishing technology, and we have a flagship product which is called as iPublish Central, which is being used by millions of end users and hundreds and thousands of libraries and several leading publishers and associations across the world. So I mentioned about the global reach. So this slide depicts precisely that. We have customers distributed across the world in all the major markets. Over 15,000 libraries serve content through our platform to millions and millions of end customers. And we also have a very large number of B2B customers like students, instructors, and professionals using our platform on a daily basis. So, yeah.
And we export another ways to publish news via.
Sorry, we had a small glitch with the audio.
Can you start over again, please?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
afraid you got to start over again.
Okay.
That's a good test for public speaking skills.
So yes. So once again, thank you very much, Sham and Naso, for the great introduction of this webinar, and thank you everybody for taking the time to be with us today. 10 years ago, I was involved in a very ambitious project with the BBC, where they explored novel ways to publish news on the web via automatically generated metadata. They were aiming to help consumers enjoy more personalized spaces and discover content more easily. The project was very interesting because it opened the doors for a wider adoption of semantic technology, but it also was very interesting because it reached millions of consumers, actually on a daily basis. And I'm so much more excited today because this partnership with Infosys will help us to reach different middle tiers of publishing organizations, and eventually the semantic technology will be widely adopted and will reach many more consumers. So now let's start with the, I hope, very gentle introduction to a semantic technology for publishers. So when we speak about semantic technology or semantics, we usually think about concepts which are ideas or notions about things, which are, let's say, people, locations, organizations, and many more. And usually these concepts or ideas, they are related by some means, and there is a semantics which is usually adding a meaning of these relationships, such that software infrastructure and knowledge bases or semantic repositories can understand, these connections and can infer new facts. For instance, if John is a son of Maria, then he's also related to Maria. And there is an ontology which you can think of as a conceptual model that combines relationships and concepts with semantics. And of course, in the end, we have knowledge bases and semantic repositories, which are, the places where we hold and we index, concepts and relationships. So when we have this framework, let's see how we can represent, the partnership of Infosys and OntoText. And you see how powerful the model is and how easily you can expand that. You can see that Infosys is a partner to OntoText, which are both organizations. They're located in different places. They both have products. And iPublishCenter, which is the content delivery platform of Infosys, is using GraphDB. You can add very easily more organizations to this partnership, to this graph, and you can also add, different properties to these organizations. Now, how much stronger, how much powerful that becomes when you add documents or content to the picture. This slide states to say that, if you have some content, it can be linked to the concepts or the entities, so-called entities, by semantic means, and these concepts, as we already know, are described in terms of an ontology. And what we actually meant by linked by semantic means, let's go a little bit deeper into that. So if we have the text XYZ, that's some sort of an organization, announced profits in Q3, that they will build a plant of some amount in Bulgaria. So imagine now that there is a software that can automatically scan these text and can find the mention of XYZ in Bulgaria to link them to the concrete concept in the knowledge graph. So you understand right now that this is not a very simple linking. This is linking not only to the XYZ in Bulgaria, but to the all-rich knowledge that we hold in the semantic repository. So while doing so, you can see how from your unstructured content, we can transform that and make it something more structured, something more useful, something more valuable. So in practice, we all know that publishing organizations consume content from the internet, from social media, from content stores, from third parties. They create their own content. All this fitted into, a magical semantics that you'll see in a second what that actually does in the publishing workflow. But then in the end, publishers will be able to automatically, publish content through different channels, create personalized spaces for their consumers, so leverage on smarter advertisements.
Excellent. So with that brief introduction to the semantic technology and the general terminology that's used in the semantic world, I would now like to present a few value drivers for the adoption of semantic technology by the publishing community. So before I get into the actual value proposition, let me just say a few words about the key value drivers which are in general true for any kind of technology. So the value drivers are basically three types. One which enhances your bottom line, the drivers which increases the value of your product or service so that it drives the top line, and those which give you a strategic advantage, like creating new products or new services or something which has not been done before. So all these are the strategic advantage drivers which will help you appreciate the value. So basically, what is value? It's a measure of the worth or desirability of whatever is being offered. So value creation happens in cyclic manner. So a couple of examples here, which are specific to the publishing and the e-learning domains. So in the initial part where you're defining and developing your product, specifically the content, you would know about the topic and you would know about what you're creating. So from that knowledge, you learn more things about it, and then you apply reason, and you infer new things, and you create new things, which in turn allows you to know more concepts and relations and the related topics. So this is a kind of a positive feedback cycle which continues to grow. So this is on the development side. And on the consumption side, where the end users would be using your content and consuming the content in different ways, one particular value creation cycle is where you provide a means of exploration of the content in a better manner, which enables them to do better research, higher quality of research, and also which drives discovery and further exploration. So these are basically self-feeding positive feedback cycles, which enhances and creates new values. Some of the industry facts, as you can see from this slide, semantic technology has been in existence for over a decade now, and this slide basically depicts the kind of advantages and value that has been derived by different companies across industry space. So it has, from this table you can see the kind of cost savings it has delivered, the return on assets it has provided, and also the return on investments, which is phenomenal by any standards. So these are industry facts, and anyone can verify these industry facts. So semantic technology today, it's quite mature, and standards have been defined so that you can build and adopt semantic technology with a clear vision of the future, and with something which is going to deliver value on a continued basis.
Okay, so let me tell you the story of more than 100 years old global scientific and academic publisher. So they have various challenges. I guess you can imagine that if with the growth of the organization, you can understand why the portfolio also grows. And this organization has been having a hard time to manage their portfolio of journals, research papers, and articles. They were also struggling to leverage content delivery and better search products to kind of very fast enable and ensure new revenue opportunities and new revenue streams. They also with an old software infrastructure, they've been struggling also to handle the evolvement and the complexity of their thesaurus with which they have been, indexing all of their news articles. Apologies, so their journals and actually their portfolio. So what's the solution? So I'll share partially some aspects, and you will see further on this webinar, some insights, because we'll dive deeper. But a very simple infrastructure that will help them explore further their thesaurus, to automatically enrich their product portfolio, their research papers, articles, and journals, to help them finer-grained understand their historical content and the new content, to understand what is trending, and to, more faster and more easily repurpose and repackage content assets. Is actually a good solution for them. Let's see further and dive deeper into the solutions.
Yeah. So we just went through the basics of semantic technology and saw some key value drivers across the industry segments. Now let's look at how semantic technology is going to help the publishing industry. Specifically, let's try to address some common problems that the industry consistently faces. And I have just clubbed the three categories where the impact is on the bottom line, the top line, and the strategic aspects of value. Some of the questions which publishers constantly are trying to solve, they keep asking and they keep trying to solve, would be in the initial product content development stage, where you would be authoring the content, and you'd be asking questions like, how can I speed up content authoring lifecycle with consistent quality? And so a few other questions like, how can I enable content reuse by providing authors with more relevant material? Questions like that. And coming to the end user experience case, which has the potential to drive a top line. The questions asked here would be, how can I make search results much more relevant to the end user and make life a lot easier for them to discover and explore new knowledge. So this is a category which drives the top line. And then coming to the strategic questions. So what are new ways of creating and consuming content? And how can I generate new revenue streams, which was not possible before with traditional technologies? And how can I leverage the knowledge base which is out there in the internet, what we call as the linked open data cloud? So these are some of the questions which we constantly keep getting, and in this webinar we'll try to address a few of these questions. So let's look at a typical publishing workflow, where it starts with the publisher receiving different content in different forms, say articles or patents or journals or say even author manuscripts. So it can be in any form. So it comes into the publisher's system, which then goes through a typical editorial process of reviewing the content and preparing it in such a way that it can be made more valuable and consumed in a better manner. So that is the next stage, where you would enrich the content, add the metadata to the content, and also after you have done the basic editing and enrichment, you would be creating the outputs which would be delivered on different channels. So it could be both digital as well as the print media kind of channels which happen today. So this is the typical publishing workflow which every publisher would be familiar with. Now, looking at the semantic publishing workflow, it is the flow is very similar, but the kind of actions that happen, we can see what's the difference over here. You still get material in different forms from the publishers. That is now put into the semantic enrichment engine, which extracts metadata, which links different concepts and ideas, all based on the topic of interest, which is basically the ontology which has been defined for that subject of interest. And this provides a very powerful tool for allowing authors to create much more valuable content. It enables a lot of reuse of content in a very systematic and intuitive manner. And based on the knowledge base that you have already built through your earlier activities on similar subjects, and also through the subject matter experts who you would have used for creating these knowledge bases, that again, it's very useful for the editorial process itself, where you can verify and curate the content in a much more relevant and context-sensitive manner. You then will be building your thesaurus and enriching your current knowledge base based on the new content and new concepts that are coming in. Once the content has been enriched to the satisfaction of the experts within your team, it becomes ready for transforming to the state in different outputs, like in the digital or the print worlds. So once the content has been completely mapped and a knowledge base has been created, content can be consumed in multiple ways, which is extremely valuable for the end user. So you can make the content highly personalized and context sensitive. So it's a new way of enriching and utilizing the content. So let's describe each one of these stages in a slightly more detailed manner. I mentioned that during the authoring phase, the technology allows authors to access the knowledge base that's already been created. So that is done through the graph, the knowledge graph that's generated when similar content has flowed through the system. And that knowledge can be used by editors who are creating new content. And it gives, we can create user interfaces for the authors to create their material and provide them context-sensitive recommendations and reuse of content, which enables them to create much more valuable content to begin with. And during this stage also, we use technology to extract the metadata, enrich the content with new meanings and rich media assets and different kinds of ways of enriching the content. So that is how it would help the authors in creating higher valued content in a intuitive and fast manner. When it comes to the editorial stage, your editor, the editors will be equipped with knowledge far greater than what could be available with a single SME or a small group of SMEs, because this is knowledge that has been created and curated over a period of time. So this enables the editors to do the editorial job in a much more faster manner and at a very high quality and consistent quality. So that's the advantage that the editors have using this technology. Then coming to the production stage, it's a pretty automated stage where we can use the description of the knowledge, the ontologies, the thesaurus, and all the metadata which has been created during this process to produce end products which can be consumed by consumers in new and highly intuitive manner. So that's the power of using semantic technology. So we'll get into a little more details in the following slides. So just to give you a sneak peek on how semantic search enhances discoverability and exploration, you see in this picture on the left hand side we have this standard search, which is a typical search which you you do on Google. So you just type a keyword and it throws up hundreds and thousands of documents which contain that keyword. So for an end user, they still have to do a lot of searching through the documents which have been presented to them. And since the number is large, typically the user would find it really difficult to find the topic of interest in a very fast and intuitive manner. So this is the status of the current search technology. Now, people have improvised upon this technique by basically categorizing and creating tags and metadata information to the content itself, so that when you hit a search term, based on your way of creating the tags and the metadata, you can narrow down the area of search to lesser number of documents. So in the standard search, you would literally be thrown up hundreds and thousands of documents. While in the advanced search, which is used in many of the portals which publishers would be familiar with, you use the metadata and the tags to narrow down your search. But still, this is kind of not a highly intuitive way of searching and not a very efficient way of reaching your point of interest with the shortest possible time frame. or the shortest possible number of steps. Now, coming to the semantic exploration piece. So since semantic exploration is depending on how you define your ontologies, the system knows that you are searching for a specific idea or a specific topic or area of interest based on the context, based on the behavior, based on different ways of accessing the content. So it makes an inference based on multiple parameters and zeroes in on a very few set of documents which are relevant for your topic of interest in that particular context. So that's the power of semantic search and semantic exploration.
Thank you, Shyam. So just to kind of summarize what we've been talking by now. So you saw this traditional publishing workflow and the semantic publishing workflow, both of which can be handled by iPublish Central integrated with VPOC is integrated with semantic technologies of OntoText. And right now we are covering different aspects of this workflow that are more related to the semantic workflow and not to the traditional workflow, because we all know the good old traditional publishing workflow. One of these aspects has been the semantic search, and right now we're going to focus on the semantic content authoring. So imagine that we have a writer that is on a paper author who is starting to write the paper, and now the text is taken and on the fly automatically indexed with relevant notions and ideas and concepts and terminology from our knowledge base. Based on these concepts, we've been able to kind of recommend relevant content coming from the historical database of the publisher, or from the web. So this relevant content can be used to further increase the quality of the publication, or just refer to this content. On the other hand, we can recommend relevant concepts and ideas that can again be included in the writing process, or they're just reminders to enhance and increase the quality of the publication. On the other hand, the joint product also exposes software infrastructure and graphical user interfaces where editors and curators can monitor the content indexing process. So as an example interface that shows, and imagine that the system is having an embedded rules that can decide if an article is correct in terms of its indexing with terminology, or it's partially correct, or it's simply wrong, so something went completely wrong with that. This idea helps editors and curators, depending on the load of the system, to kind of focus on the most emerging issues. On the other hand, the system also shows the most emerging new terminology that haven't been indexed by now in the thesaurus or in the ontology or in the dictionary of the publisher, which means that the editor and the curator can focus on this terminology, but mostly on the most emerging terminology, which is mentioned more often lately, to be scheduled for addition into the thesaurus and the ontology. On the other hand, the system also shows ambiguous terminology that can refer, so mentions in the text that can refer to different ideas and different notions. If I take an example from the news publishing world, such an example would be Paris, where a mention of Paris can be linked in the knowledge base to Paris, the celebrity or the person. Paris, that can be 3 smaller cities in US, England, or could be the capital of France. And also low confidence concepts, which is terminology which the system thinks it probably didn't do the right job. So the probability to, disambiguate this concept is particularly low. On the other hand, the system allows different components to dive deeper to the level of a single document, where you see here automatically linked concepts to the knowledge base, which is shown on the right-hand side, and the system puts you in charge to improve the quality, ensure the quality, and you can, for instance, go to that concept over there and remove it, just click it, or change, the class, or do other things with it. So you're in charge. You are in a complete charge of. You have the power to change the system. The good thing is that when you improve the quality, the system gets automatically this improvement as examples and continuously adapts to increase with time the indexing accuracy of the system. So in terms of recommendation, the system tracks the user behavior in terms of user actions. For instance, what the user reads, what the user searches for, what terminology it's actually using in search, and it builds a user profile of the consumer. Then later on, the system can recommend content based on this user profile, which is once again a historical profile of the user. On the other hand, the system can simply recommend more content just based on what the user is reading at the moment by matching the terminology profiles of the article that he or she is reading at the moment with other articles in the historical database. So what are the benefits to the end users, to the consumers? The first one is just-in-time information, so information on demand, and this is from various sources, from various journals, from textbooks, even patents can be embedded into the systems, internet, and other resources. The system also, because we index all the content that enters the system can serve as an analytics platform as well, because it can show which terminology, which concepts and notions have been mentioned recently. This means that the system also helps to improve the decision making, and this is not only the decision making of the user that have been the final user, the consumer, it's also the decision making of the marketing department, which means that they can promote more efficiently content and assets, multimedia and pictures and videos that are related to what consumers are interested in at the moment. And more. So people and consumers can discover new knowledge through aggregation of content that is on the fly. They can search better through faceted search. They can so we can create personalized spaces where these consumers can get the right content at the right time. The system can also, so the news article or the journal or the patent is not a single piece of information. This can be split almost automatically in paragraphs or some other parts or chapters, and can be indexed separately to recommend, to return to the user the most relevant part of this scientific work, of this art.
Great. So with those basics and the background, I would like to present to you a very simple way of adapting the semantic technology. As I mentioned earlier, the semantic technology is quite mature, and we have derived processes which enable a very gentle adaptation of this technology for the publishers. The different phases of this adaptation are depicted in this slide. Our recommendation would be to pick a problem which is simple and small, but still can demonstrate the value of adopting this technology. So that's our recommended approach. So what happens is you would not be spending a whole lot of time and resources in evaluating this technology and trying to prove for yourself. Yes, this is going to be very, very valuable for us as a company and for our end users. So this is the simple three-stage process that we have created. So in the initial process, which is the discovery process, you would first pick a problem which you need to solve. So you define that in as much detail as possible. Create a knowledge model for that topic of interest, and this would take a time frame, typically, let's say 3 or 4 weeks, based on the kind of problems that or problem that you are trying to attack. Post that, you get into the design and development stage, where you would be building the ontology, creating entities and attaching relationships to these entities, and then going ahead and creating the system itself and integrating all the resources that are needed for functioning of the system. So typically this is a 4 to 6 week kind of an effort. And finally, once you have created the system, you would want to use that to evaluate the value that it's promised to deliver. So you in the operate and maintain stage, the main objective would be to monitor the performance constantly, and measure the gains that you would achieve using this technology. In turn, you will also be generating a lot of new knowledge which can be applied for the whole process to become better and better. So this is typically a process which would take about 4 weeks. You would employ all your key stakeholders in these processes, and specifically in the operate and maintain stage, you would ideally employ a focus group or lead users who would evaluate your solution and provide you some unbiased feedback. So once you have passed through this stage, you would basically create a report on the kind of problem that you have addressed and the benefits that you have reaped, and what are the new possibilities that this technology can bring to the table. So this is the simple process that we have formulated. And in fact, once you create the initial proof of concept or initial system which can help you evaluate, you can take on much more complex problems and much more bigger set of problems which can have a larger impact across the enterprise. So this is what we have shown in the subsequent slide. So basically an elaboration of the previous slide, the kind of details and the kind of intense activities that go into creating a system which is extremely simple to use. Though the slide has a lot of content, it's actually an extremely simple process that we have formulated, and we are here to help you in this semantic journey. So that was a very brief introduction to the semantic technology and its benefits to the publishing world, both from a publisher perspective as well as an end user perspective. We, in the subsequent webinars, we intend to take you through more specific use cases and the real benefits that the users and publishers have derived from this. And we'll also demonstrate a lot of solutions that have been created for our customers. Now, you know that the London Book Fair is just around the corner. Both Impulsys and OntoText are participating in this fair. So the details are provided in this slide. We'll be sharing this information to all our customers and the people who have attended this seminar. We request all of you to come over and say hello to our people. We'll be very happy to help you in your semantic journey and solve problems which can deliver great value and great benefits to your companies and to your end customers. So with that, I take this opportunity to thank you for participating in this webinar, and I would open the stage for questions and answers.
Thank you, Shyam, for your amazing conversation. Thank you for your for being part of this presentation. Just to let you know, everybody who's still on the call, all the questions that you have asked in the Q&A panel, there will be, if we have all questions that we cannot answer, they will be answered after this presentation. Also, you will receive a video recording of the entire presentation, including a slide share, which you can view online at any time. So don't worry about these things. Just ask your questions. So now we're going to have one question answered by our CEO, Atanas Kyriakov. So
there was a question from Craig Friedman. Do you have any examples of semantic tech for STM publication? Yeah, of course we do. Actually, we can have find one that doesn't use any. So some of our customers include like John Wiley & Sons, Oxford University Press. Who else? IT. So we have several big installations with pretty much half of the top 10 STM publishers. That's very popular trend out there. We're just starting another 3 or 4 of them. So yeah, they're all there.
Okay, so I'll handle one question from Udai. So he's asking, is your solution capable of integrating our own resources like vocabularies and taxonomies with external resources, and how the quality of open data, linked open data resources can be ensured? So sure, so this is a very good question, and indeed the quality of the open data can be controlled on the site of the linked open data, but we have multiple tools and infrastructure that they help you select only specific parts of these that are probably more that you know or you found that are more high quality, and you can use only them. We have other tools and techniques that help you also curate these data sets on site. And we have other tools and techniques that help you link these external open data sources that you have chosen, including third-party vocabularies and dictionaries, together in a single network, in a single knowledge base.
All right.
That's we don't have time, so.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
If we still have
we have time for one
2 minutes left,
Sham, because
there is an interesting question which I guess Sham can address. So this is the question very quickly. Can this platform or solution can be easily integrated with our existing publishing workflows that is actually being serviced by both vendor and custom software applications? So I guess that the integration costs and challenges are being placed on the table here. So Sham?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that is the very purpose of defining ontologies. Basically the ontologies are defined as a layer above your resources and content. Your content itself is not altered directly, but all the information that's available in the content, all the knowledge that's available in the content can be extracted to create the knowledge base, and it's a separate layer which is created on top of existing solutions and existing workflows. And these workflows and solutions can be highly optimized using semantic technologies. Yes, so the short answer is yes, it is possible to integrate semantic technologies into existing solutions and workflows. And this is a very relevant and very important question that you have asked. Thanks for asking that. And this is one of the problems and one of the use cases that we are going to address in the coming webinar series. And we'll go through the steps on how to achieve this objective.
All right. Thank you very much, Sham. Thank you very much, Georgi and Athanas, for answering the questions and providing us with this presentation. As I said before, we're going to send you links with every information resource that we've provided today. So please check them out if you haven't, or if you want to just recall something that you saw in these presentations. Thank you very much, guys, for being with us, and we hope to see you in our upcoming webinars. We'll be making more webinars with Infosys, so stay tuned on our website, check our articles on our blog, and thank you very much for attending, and have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.